The moment I found out my husband was cheating, my world shattered. But I didn't scream or cry. I smiled and I planned. For months, I became his company's biggest client, funneling millions into his empire while he bragged about his mystery investor. Then, when his ego was at its peak, I pulled every contract, watched his world collapse, and revealed I was the one who orchestrated it all. Want to know how I turned betrayal into the ultimate revenge? Stick around. This story will give you chills. Hey everyone, my name is Millie. I'm 29 and I live in New York. By day, I'm a business consultant. But today, I'm opening up about something deeply personal. A story of love, betrayal, and a revenge so calculated, it still makes my heart race. If you've ever been lied to, underestimated, or made to feel like you were nothing, this story is for you. It's raw, it's real, and it's mine. I'm going to take you through the pain, the planning, and the moment I turned the tables on someone who thought they could break me. This isn't just about getting even. It's about taking back your power. So grab a drink, settle in, hit that like button if you believe in justice that hits hard. Subscribe for more stories that'll tug at your heart. And let's dive into one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll ever hear. Here we go. In Seattle, where rain pattered relentlessly against coffee shop windows and the Space Needle stood as a sentinel against the gray sky, I, Millie, a 29-year-old business consultant, had crafted a life I believed was unbreakable. At 24, I met Ryan, a 28-year-old entrepreneur whose infectious smile and relentless ambition lit a spark in me. His marketing firm, a fledgling operation in a cramped downtown office, brimmed with potential, and I was drawn to his vision like a tide to the shore. We'd spend long nights in our tiny apartment, the city's hum seeping through thin walls, surrounded by takeout containers and scattered business plans. My fingers traced the edges of his proposals, my heart swelling with pride as we envisioned his empire and my own dreams of building a consulting career. The air was thick with the scent of coffee and ink, our laughter mingling with the clatter of keyboards as we mapped out a shared future. We married at 26 in a small ceremony by Puget Sound, the water shimmering under a rare sunny sky, my white dress catching the breeze like a sail. I felt weightless, my hand in his, the salt air sharp in my lungs. Ryan's firm was gaining traction, and I threw myself into supporting him, proofreading contracts late into the night, my eyes burning from the laptop's glow, suggesting strategies that landed him major clients, connecting him with my network from my University of Washington business degree. My desk was a chaos of sticky notes, coffee mugs, and crumpled notepads, the room heavy with the scent of ambition. I wasn't just a wife, I was a partner, pouring my expertise into his dream, believing it was ours. But cracks appeared within the first year. Ryan started staying late at the office, his excuses piling up like unpaid bills. Client dinners, urgent pitches, networking events that dragged past midnight. His phone buzzed incessantly, the screen always tilted away, his fingers quick to swipe notifications before I could glimpse them. I'd catch traces of floral perfume on his suits, heavy and unfamiliar, nothing like my light lavender scent. My stomach churned, my palms grew clammy, but I pushed the doubts down, lying awake in our bed as the city lights cast jagged shadows across the ceiling. The sheets felt cold, the silence louder than the rain outside. I told myself he was building our future, that the long hours were for us. One rainy night, Ryan stumbled home past midnight, his jacket damp, the perfume stronger than ever. He left his phone on the kitchen counter, its screen glowing like a beacon in the dark. My hands trembled as I picked it up, my breath shallow, the passcode still our wedding date. The messages hit like a punch to the chest. Texts from Jessica, his 25-year-old assistant, all sharp cheekbones and sharper confidence. Flirty, intimate. They spanned months. Detailing hotel meetups, late-night drinks, moments he'd sworn were client meetings. One message seared itself into my mind. Her words mocking my trust, calling me naive for believing his excuses. My knees buckled, the phone clattering onto the counter, the sound sharp against the rain's steady drum. My throat tightened, my chest burned with a mix of pain and rage, the kitchen's linoleum cold under my bare feet. The next morning, I made his coffee, my hand steady despite the store raging inside. I smiled as he kissed my forehead, oblivious, and left for work, his footsteps echoing down the hall. As the door clicked shut, my resolve hardened like steel. I wouldn't confront him. That was too easy, too predictable. I wanted him to feel what I felt. Powerless, blindsided, broken. Ryan's betrayal wasn't just the affair. He'd belittled me for years, calling my consulting work cute, patting my head when I offered business ideas, dismissing my ambitions at dinner parties while his friends chuckled, their wine glasses clinking. My cheeks would burn, my nails digging into my palms, my smile a brittle mask. Jessica was no better, gliding into firm events with a smirk, her heels clicking on polished floors, her perfume lingering like a taunt. They made me feel invisible, a prop in Ryan's shining narrative. Ryan's arrogance swelled as his firm grew. He'd stride into his office, his voice booming with pride over deals I'd helped secure, his Rolex catching the light. At networking events, he'd cut me off mid-sentence, waving away my ideas as Millie's little projects, the air thick with awkward laughter as I swallowed my pride. Jessica fueled his ego, her presence a constant reminder of my humiliation. Colleagues praised their dynamic partnership, blind to the truth, while I sat at home, the rain mirroring the storm in my chest. Ryan thrived on being the star, his firm's growth a trophy he polished while I faded into the background, my contributions erased. The betrayal carved a hollow in my chest. I'd sit in our apartment, the city's hum a distant roar, staring at framed photos, us smiling at our wedding, laughing on hikes in the Cascades that now felt like cruel lies. My hands shook as I worked on my consulting projects, my focus splintered by the weight of his deception. Sleep became a stranger, my eyes burning from staring at the ceiling, my mind replaying those messages, her mocking words looping like a broken record. I questioned everything. Was I not enough? Had I been blind, naive, as she claimed? But a spark remained. I built his firm alongside him, my strategies, my contacts, my sleepless nights. I was good, better than he ever admitted. I could use that. One night, the rain pounding against the windows, I sat at my desk, my laptop's glow cutting through the dark. Confronting Ryan would give him power, let him lie, manipulate, or worse, pity me. I wanted him to feel what I felt, to lose everything he valued. I'd become his firm's biggest client, make him depend on me, then rip it all away. I created Cascade Solutions under M. Harper, a pseudonym tied to my maiden name, using a P.O. box to stay invisible. My hands trembled as I filed the paperwork, the ink scent sharp, the room silent except for the rain's steady beat. I tapped into my consulting network, investors, marketers, tech innovators pitching a bold marketing platform that could dominate the industry. My heart raced, my palms sweaty as I made calls from a co-working space across town, the hum of laptops and espresso machines a backdrop to my scheming. Within 5 months, Cascade secured $10 million in funding. My fingers cramped from signing contracts, my inbox buzzing with investor emails. The thrill was electric, my pulse quickening with every deal. I approached Ryan's firm as M. Harper, offering a $5 million contract for a year-long campaign. His team leapt at it, no questions asked. Ryan was euphoric, boasting at industry events about his mystery investor, his voice carrying over the clink of champagne glasses. I funneled more contracts, $3 million, then $7 million, making Cascade the backbone of his firm, accounting for 75% of his revenue by the end of the first year. He expanded recklessly. New offices in Portland and San Francisco, a bloated staff, a gleaming Tesla parked in his reserved spot. His ego blinded him to the strings I held. I encouraged his overreach, sending emails as M. Harper, suggesting bigger campaigns, riskier investments. He took on massive debt, leased a penthouse office with floor-to-ceiling windows, the Seattle skyline glittering beyond. His firm threw lavish parties, the air thick with cigar smoke and ambition. Ryan at the center, his laughter loud, Jessica always nearby. My stomach churned, but I kept my mask in place, attending events as his wife, my smile tight, my heels clicking on polished floors. I'd slip away to the co-working space, my fingers flying over my laptop, the scent of coffee grounding me as I tightened the noose. The night I signed the largest contract, $8 million for a global campaign, I stood in his firm's lobby, the marble cold under my heels, the city's lights reflecting off the glass. My heart pounded, my breath shallow, my wig itching, my glasses slipping. Ryan was one room away, his laughter mixing with Jessica's, his Rolex glinting under the chandeliers. The air smelled of leather and wealth, and I breathed it in, signing with a steady hand, feeling like a predator circling its prey. I was invisible, untouchable, my plan a web he'd never see. After 22 months, the trap was ready. On a crisp Seattle morning, the rain a soft whisper, I sent the email. Cascade Solutions was terminating all contracts, effective immediately. I wired back every penny, ensuring no legal recourse. My fingers steady on the keyboard. By noon, Ryan's CFO was calling, his voice frantic, begging for a meeting. I agreed, but only if Ryan was there. I walked into his boardroom, my heels clicking on the marble, my heart a drumbeat of triumph. Ryan sat at the head, his face tense but still smug. Unaware of the storm, I shed my disguise, my hair loose, my eyes locked on his. I revealed I was M. Harper, Cascade, the investor he built his empire on. My voice was calm, each word a precise cut. His face collapsed. Shock, then rage, then panic. He stood, his chair scraping, papers scattering across the table. His team stared, their whispers a low hum. the air thick with disbelief. I slid a folder across the table. Contracts, emails, proof that I'd orchestrated it all. The room was silent. The city's hum a distant roar through the windows. His empire crumbled overnight. Investors pulled out. Clients canceled. Lawsuits piled up like debris. The penthouse office sat empty. The Tesla repossessed. His staff laid off in droves. Jessica quit the next day, slipping away without a word, leaving him to face the wreckage alone. The industry buzzed. Blogs called him a fraud, his reputation ashes. I walked out of the boardroom, the marble cold, the rain fresh against my face, my breath steady for the first time in months. My heart soared, not with anger, but with relief, triumph, validation. I'd taken back my power, dismantled his world with the hands that once loved him. The fallout rippled beyond Ryan. His former clients reached out to Cascade, impressed by M. Harper's precision, offering contracts that grew my company into a powerhouse. I moved out of our apartment, the scent of lavender lingering as I packed, and started fresh in a new loft, the city's skyline my backdrop. Ryan tried to call, his voicemails desperate, then silent. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. My success was my reply, louder than any words. Seattle's rain felt cleansing now, washing away the pain, leaving only strength. Looking back, I regret nothing. Ryan thought he could betray me, diminish me, but he misjudged me. I wasn't just a wife. I was a strategist, a dreamer, a woman who refused to break. This wasn't revenge for its own sake. It was justice, proving I was enough, not just to him, but to myself. Karma doesn't need drama. It's silent, precise, a strike that leaves no doubt. I built something bigger than his empire and tore it down with the same hands that loved him. If my story teaches you anything, it's this. Never let anyone dim your light. Use your pain, your skills, your heart, and build something they can't ignore. You are enough, and the world will see it when you show them. Wow, what a journey, right? If this story gave you chills or made you cheer, smash that like button and drop a comment. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Or maybe you've got a story of turning betrayal into triumph. Spill it. Subscribe and hit that bell for more real-life stories that'll keep you hooked. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay fierce, stay unstoppable, and never let anyone underestimate you.